Last night was the night that every major sports broadcasting organization and the NBA has been waiting for over 40 games. Zion Williamson, the first pick of the NBA draft, made his debut for the New Orleans Pelicans against the San Antonio Spurs. His debut can best be summed up as good. It was very good. In fact, it was very impressive. It was better than I thought he would do. But I'm not going to sit here and be a prisoner of the moment. I understand his 17-point run was spectacular. He showcased a range that I didn't think he had, a range that I never saw in Duke. But I cannot sit here and allow the 3 other quarters to just disappear. At his best, his debut was spectacular. At his worst, his debut was bad. Throughout the first 3 quarters, his ball security was god-awful. I watched Zion dribble the ball directly into the defender's chest more than one time. It was not very good. The first 3 quarters, he also looked very gimpy. But I understand. I understand basketball is a rhythm-based sport, as are most sports. And it's because of that why I value the 17 points a lot. I do put stock into that. But I also cannot sit here and just let everything else blow by. I stick with what I said before the game. Zion Williamson needs to lose weight. His knees will not be able to maintain his style of play. Because one of the biggest pluses throughout the entire game, the one thing that remained constant, was his rebounding. Zion's rebounding last night was nothing short of spectacular. Heads-up basketball at its finest. He played every single ball like Charles Barkley used to. Aggressive. He was grabbing rebounders over 7-footers. Zion is not a giant player. He's massive in weight, not in height. Zion is about 6'6", 6'6 and a half at highest. And yet he was rebounding like a center. That's partially why he played center in the 4th quarter. Zion was playing a center role in the 4th quarter. But the aggressiveness of Zion's rebounds will not be able to continue if his knees give out. That's just a fact. There's a reason that Zion was out for almost 40 games. It's because his weight directly correlates to knee injuries. I'm sorry. It's a reason why knee injuries with centers, is not a good thing. And when you're carrying the weight of a center in a guard's body, it's a recipe for disaster. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Because Zion at his best last night was extraordinarily entertaining. Let's talk about the 17-point run. Like I mentioned earlier, range. He was affecting the ends. He was affecting the game from the 3-point line. My biggest criticism with Zion was his jump shot. Besides his weight, was his jump shot. And he put that partially to rest. Because where I focused most on my criticism was in his mid-range game. I was hesitant of Zion's ability to drive to the rim and stop on a dime and pull up. And while he didn't showcase that as much as I wish, he showcased his 3-ball has improved. Mostly because in a rehab situation, you can practice that jump shot. I also understand that it was a set shot because he's not trying to put as much pressure as one would put jumping on knees that are recovering. So I don't take the set shot as something terrible. It's a smart adjustment in my opinion. He's avoiding injury. I can't blame him for that. That's smart. But I want to go back to heads-up basketball. The best play Zion made all game was when he got his shot blocked by Jakob Patel and he followed it and laid it up. He kept his eyes on the ball the entire time, picked his dribble right back up, and scored. That was the best play of the game for me. I don't care about the other threes. The 4 threes, 3 of them were uncontested, 1 was contested. And yes, that's very impressive. I'm not going to fault somebody for making threes if you're giving him that space. I wouldn't fault Ben Simmons if Ben Simmons hit 4 out of 4 of his 3-point balls, even though we know that's never going to happen. You gave him the range. You're punished now. Perfect. Zion took advantage of that. I cannot blame him for that. But he looked different in the 3rd quarter. But when he got his rhythm, he showed why he was the number 1 pick. he performed very well. 17 points is a very, very, very impressive run. Very impressive. He took the game over. And it wasn't just from shooting. He was attacking the rim, but he was also shooting. It was a mix. And that's exactly what I want to see from Zion. I don't want him to be a one-dimensional player. I want my first pick in general to be a multi-level player. And Zion's ability that he showcased last night was an ability to attack on multiple levels. There's not much I can say. His ball security was an issue. That was the biggest issue that I took from last night. My second biggest criticism would be his free throw percentage and his free throw shooting. I'm not shocked though, because all the kids from Duke last year, none of them were exceptional free throw shooters. None of them. That was one area of the game that they all need to improve on, including Zion. If he can improve his free throw percentage, perfect. These are all easy fixes. He showcased his point guard mentality. He played point guard in high school. He showcased his ability to pass the ball, to drive and kick it out, much like a LeBron does. I'm not comparing the two passing ability, because LeBron is one of the best passers I've ever seen in my entire life. But Zion at least has a little bit of that. He has the ability to drive, threaten the defender with his bulk, and then kick it out to the wing. And Zion would have had multiple more assists if his team hit the three balls that he put into their hands. The Pelicans were not making threes early on. They were 0 for 6 or 0 for 9 to start off the game. Terrible drought. Zion could have had easily 3 assists just to start off. But what Zion showed last night was that with a little bit of rhythm and a little bit less of a minute restriction, because let's be honest, he was on a minutes restriction. It's pretty obvious when you just look at the box score and just look at the amount of minutes he had. When Zion gets in rhythm, the NBA should be scared. Overall, I'm going to give Zion a B for his debut. I still have to consider the three other quarters and how different and how drastically worse they were compared to the fourth. But the fourth quarter was so impressive that it bumps my rating up from what if he played like he did the first 3 quarters for the whole game, I would have given him about a D. Because he looked abysmal the first 3 quarters. He was dribbling directly into defenders. I don't think you understand. Directly into defenders. Those were 4 ugly turnovers. But he got it together. He showed off. He showcased his range. He showcased his ability to take over a game. And because of that, I'm giving Zion Williamson a B for his debut. Very impressive. Very impressive when he got into it. We cannot sit here and all be prisoners of the moment and just think that he's going to be the greatest thing since LeBron because he went on a 17-point run. He showcased an ability. He hasn't made that a constant yet. With less minutes restriction, I believe Zion can go on to average somewhere around 18 points this season. I truly believe that. But my biggest concern is his size. My player comp for Zion has always been Sean Kemp. I didn't see Barkley. I didn't see Blake Griffin. I always saw Sean Kemp with a jump shot. Like I said before, that mid-range jump shot, in my opinion, is the biggest part of his game that's weak. He showed off post moves. I did not think Zion had the post moves that he showcased last night in his arsenal. He was very good in the post. I always thought that Zion was better. I still think this. Is Zion's best ability in the paint is driving into the paint. When you can contain him inside the paint, I didn't think that he'd be able to use footwork as well as he did last night to score. But he proved me wrong. But I need to see his ability to stop on a dime, driving, and pull up for a jump shot. That's one of the things that I need to see. But his perimeter game, I mean, he showcased range. Like it or not, 3 to 4 were uncontested. I understand that. But he showcased range. And he showcased the ability to get hot. And from a player that young, 19 years old, showcasing that ability in his debut game, that's something. But Sean Kemp is my player comp. Sean Kemp with a jump shot. And I can just sit here and pray that he loses weight and gets to a position where he can have a long career. Because let's be honest, the NBA is going to market this kid as the new head of the new face of the NBA after LeBron leaves. If it's not Giannis, it's going to be Zion. If it's not Giannis, if it's not Luka, it's going to be Zion. So let's all hope that he gets on a nutrition plan, gets off that Louisiana cooking, and can have a long and impressive career. Because it's hard to hate the kid. The kid has a passion for the game. He's always smiling on the court. He's always happy. He enjoys the game. And I want nothing more for his career to be long and impressive. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.